As you can see here, we're looking at the Michigan Upper Peninsula. You're looking at a 2025 map. It's revision 6. I do quite a few revisions throughout the year. Sometimes you might see revision 10, 12, or 13. Those are updates that I've done. The next part of this title here shows you when the next update will be for this map, which means this map will expire. You need to go and log into your account and download the newest map. These maps go totally offline, meaning that they're side-loaded into your device, your mobile phone or your tablet, Apple or Android. The web application at this present time is only good for the PC. So reason I like to have side-loaded maps is because when I'm in an area without cell service, I never have to worry about losing my map. Now, one of the things that we can do here, and I'll go through it, is that we can add a base map right here. So we'll go to the plus sign, we'll add the world imagery. It's going to ask you about converting coordinate systems and just say OK. And what it's going to do is it's going to put underneath my map that I've created for you guys, it's going to put the imagery. And you can see now it sort of changes the color because you got a darker contrast under there versus having white. So here you see all the different counties up in the UP, but now you really get a good feel, like we've talked about in another podcast, of how well you can actually see the concentrations. Where is the habitat and where's the concentration of cuts? And you always start with finding the cut, and then you go from there to look at what's around the cut. But even before that, you find the cut, and what you should be doing is also looking and saying, what are the old cuts? Now, the older cuts are these light blue areas that you see right here. They're marginal, meaning they've just aged out. Typically, Aspen for the Midwest is roughly around 9 to 16 years that we figure that they're prime. Some areas might be a little bit earlier, and some cuts hold on a little bit and are still good to 20 years old, but more as a late season habitat for the birds. So when you look at this, what you want to do, you're looking for prime cuts. That's your biggest emphasis. But there's another aspect of this. So we're going to just go down into here and some cuts down here. And I'm going to start out by just turning the layers off. So I go to the right and I'm going to turn these layers off. I'm going to take this little arrow that points to the title. I'm going to tap it. It's going to turn down, which means it's giving you all the layers, which you can see I've turned off here, for this Upper Peninsula map. So I'm going to go down here where I can see UP, State, Prime, and Marginal. And if you hover over it, you can get the full title. So that 1995 to 2018, those were the sorts. I gave you the older cuts, the prime cuts, and some young and up-and-coming cuts. Just look here, and you'll see it all right here, the color coding that's done. Okay, I'll bring that back. So here we have our cuts here, and we're going to look in here. And we're in Michigan. We're to the northeast of Green Bay in that area. And let's just take a look at this one here. Got a 2016, 2011, and a 2014. You got a 2002, 2007, 2003s, 2007, 2008. Well, look at it this way, and of course down here you've got some, but I'm going to focus on this part right here. This cut right here, when it was prime, and now it's aging out, this wasn't available yet, so more than likely those birds headed that way, or they went this way. And the same thing with the 2007. Where were they going to go? This part right here was not available yet. And then it'll be the 2014 will get ready, and they're going to keep spreading out. It gives you stepping stones, so to speak, in habitat. So the 2008, 2007, 2003s, they had the 2011s to go into. Then after that, now we got the 2014, so we can expand a little bit more. And then eventually, now we've got the 2016. So we can expand more. So what you're looking for is a possibility for an expansion of a population of birds. It doesn't always happen because it depends on the quality of these cuts. How good if they're junky and they got a lot of wet potholes and it's inconsistent habitat, then you might not have such a great area. But that's where that's called boots on the ground, and you go and you look and you see what the area looks like. Now, one of the things you can do as you zoom in, you can do two things. You could turn this all off, or down here's your scale button. We're at 1 to 9,000. We're going to get a little bit lower in there, and wow, there it goes. This doesn't look bad here. See the consistency of the habitat regenerating here? This has been messed around with again, and this has been basically, oh, it's been logged. Look at what I see. I see everything decked right there. And I see a piece of equipment here and a piece of equipment here, but they've got pulp decked right there. So that gives you an idea that, they've got this one logged here, and there's pretty good consistency here, and there's nice consistency there. You want to see an even flat color. So really overall, you're looking at this, and they left some trees. This is more like a shelter woodcut. They left trees behind up here, which isn't the end of the world, but it can tell you it's basically going to regenerate to a little bit different type of a habitat. It might be okay while it's young, but it'll transition a little quicker into different habitat. So, like I said, just zoom in, zoom out, the map appears. You can barely see the lines through the transparency of the cut right there. And you can see this edge right here. That's what I do, is I look out and I try to find areas where, okay, what's the potential of shifting here? Okay, we've got 2012, 2003s, 2007s, 2005s. The 1997 is a big jump. Those guys had to go someplace. So they had to go probably to the 2004. And here's 2004 and 2005 and 2007, 2003. So that's a good jump for that 97. And we have 97 here. So this area's got like stepping stones. So what's the next jump after we go into the 2012? Okay, now they've got a 2013 to add to this, then a 2015, and it just keeps stepping up. So what I'm saying is this area, the habitat kept continuing. It didn't all of a sudden have a 12-15 year gap. So these birds kept having habitat available to them as you go forward. And so the question is, hopefully in time, when this 2016, ages out, there'll probably be maybe a 2020, something like that needs to come in there. And that's what helps build habitat. It's not just, oh, we have a cut in the middle of the woods and it's 2012 and there's nothing around it. Where are the birds going to go? They're not going to go live in a hardwood stand or in a cedar swamp. They need a specific habitat type. So in this application here, what we're looking at through this video is the creation of stepping stones from one age class to the next age class to the next. And now you don't have to say, I need a 3, I need a 4, I need a 5, a 6, and that. You can have 3 or 4 or 6 years gap, but you need to have something that they can go to. Where are they going to go to? Because if they have nothing to go to, they're going to get picked off. They're like sitting ducks, so to speak. So this is what I wanted to show you to start out here. And I think I'll just end this video here with just focusing on what this means to you. You need to find the cut that you'd like, that looks interesting. I've talked before, I like interesting cuts with different edges and, little areas where they might get pushed and there could be a swamp there. And I like stuff like that. Sometimes the massive cuts, how do you cast a dog and have it casting and control the shifting of the birds? This right here, you can work this and you can come around and so you could cast coming here and coming down here and coming around. And that's why I look at these cuts and the shapes of them. There's going to be areas here that you can't cover and an area in here that you can't cover, and it's going to be hard to cover the area in here. And then the bigger they are, the harder it is to work your edges efficiently. I'm not saying it can't be done, but you need enough time to do it. And so, of course, with a lot of these, you're going to go and do the edges first. So you're always going to pattern yourself so far off the edge and then come around in here like this. But in the end, there's something left in the middle that you didn't get. So find your cuts, look at the concentration of marginal habitat, and then think about what did the birds have to build off of. What cuts were available to these birds to go from one age class to another age class to another age class? Because these birds aren't going to go walk 20 miles to get to the next cut. Typically, in Gordon Gillian's research, he had one hen that went 6 miles during dispersal. Typically, it's around 3. And then a male grouse, they live in 8 to 10 acres, roughly, give or take, and they try to stay there as long as that habitat holds. And when you hear the drumming in the fall, that's not, to mate like it is in the spring. What it is it's a time that's basically the older males telling the juvenile, hey, I'm here, you stay away, and, I've got my spot. So then if the habitat is big enough, you'll start having males. Maybe this guy was right here. And, well, let's pack this up. Let's say the first grouse was right here. And he's drumming and he's got his sight and everything in time. There's a few other ones that, get in here. Well, then, as this gets to the right age, what happens is then this guy says, I've got a great sight. I'm not moving. And the young juvenile says, well, there's other grouse here and here, but this looks pretty good. I'll set up over here. And next thing you know, as the years go on, another one sets here, or another one sets over here and over here. And that's the population shifts. So the hens then start working both areas. And they're going to bring their young in the summertime to a younger cut with better stem density. And so that's how all the transitions are happening. But if there was nothing else left here, no 16s, no 14s here, where does the population go? They're left to wandering around trying to find something, or the male just eventually gets killed off in his little place that he's called home, because 1, it got old, and 2, there's nothing else left for him to go to. So you have to have continual stepping stones of cuts to really be effective in gaining in a population the numbers that you are looking for. It's more than the cuts. You got to find the cuts, but you need to analyze the marginal habitat around the cuts, and you need to determine, is there a stepping stone effect from one age class to another age class to another age class? You can have jumps, but not huge jumps, not 15-year jumps. Those birds can't hang on that long waiting for someone, please cut something so we have a place to go. You need to have a decent step, 2006 to 2012. Real easy step right there. It'll work, because those birds here went to here, then they went to here. Now these birds are going to start spreading to here, 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 and up here. That's what you're thinking about. How does the population expand? And I hope this helps you, and we'll have some more videos for you.